morning, friends. Today we're going to read one of my very favorite books for story time. Have you ever read this book before? What's it called? It's called The Rainbow Fish. Now, this is a really big book. I don't know if you can tell how big it is, but it is really big. So I'm going to have to scoot a little bit farther back so you can see all of it today. But do you see the cover of this book? Do you see how it glistens? This book is really special because this fish has lots of shimmering scales. Look at all of the beautiful shimmering scales this rainbow fish has. Now this rainbow fish has a lot of beautiful shimmering scales, but they're going to cause some problems for him in the story today. All right, are you ready? The rainbow fish. A long way out in the deep blue sea, there lived a fish. Not just an ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple, with sparkling silver scales among them. The other fish were amazed at his beauty. They called him Rainbow Fish. "Come on, Rainbow Fish," they would call. "Come and play with us." But the rainbow fish would just glide past, proud and silent, letting his scales shimmer. Now let's look at the other fish in the illustrations or the pictures. Do any of them have shining, shimmering scales like the rainbow fish does? Oh, I don't see any. I just see that the rainbow fish has a lot of shining, shimmering scales himself. One day, a little blue fish followed after him. "Rainbow Fish," he called, "wait for me. Please give me one of your shiny scales. They are so wonderful, and you have so many." So this little fish asked the rainbow fish for one of his shining, shimmering scales. What do you think the rainbow fish is going to say? Let's find out. "You want me to give you one of my special scales? Who do you think you are?" cried the rainbow fish. "Get away from me." Oh my goodness. How do you think all the other little fishes are feeling by the way that the rainbow fish talked to them? I wouldn't feel very good if someone talked to me like that. Shocked, the little blue fish swam away. He was so upset he told all of his friends what had happened. From then on, no one would have anything to do with the rainbow fish. They turned away when he swam by. So they weren't very happy with the way that rainbow fish treated their friend. So they didn't want to spend time with the rainbow fish because he wasn't being very kind. And even if he didn't feel like sharing one of his scales, there was a much nicer way for him to say that to the other fish. What good were the dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Now he was the loneliest fish in the entire ocean. One day he poured out his troubles to the starfish. "I really am beautiful. Why doesn't anybody like me?" "I can't answer that for you," said the starfish, "but if you go beyond the coral reef to a deep cave, you will find the wise octopus. Maybe she can help you." What do you think the wise octopus will do for the rainbow fish? Let's find out. The rainbow fish found the cave. It was very dark inside and he couldn't see anything. Then suddenly 2 eyes caught him in their glare, and the octopus emerged from the darkness. "I've been waiting for you," said the octopus with a deep voice. "The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the sea, but you will discover how to be happy." So the octopus said, "You need to go back to your friends and share some of your shining, shimmering scales. And even though you won't be quite as shiny, you'll feel much happier that you share with others. I can't, the rainbow fish started to say, but the octopus had already disappeared into a dark cloud of ink. Give away my scales? My beautiful shining scales? Never, my beautiful shining scales. I could never be without them. How could I ever be happy without them? Suddenly, he felt the light touch of a fin. The little blue fish was back. Rainbow fish, please don't be angry. I just want one little scale. The rainbow fish wavered. That means he had to think about it. He wasn't sure. Only one very, very, very small shimmery scale, he thought. Well, maybe I wouldn't miss just one. What do you think? Do you think the rainbow fish is going to share with his friend? Carefully, the rainbow fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. Thank you very much, the little blue fish bubbled playfully as he tucked the shiny scale in among his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling came over the rainbow fish. Peculiar means strange or something he hasn't felt before. For a long time, he watched the little blue fish swim back and forth with his new scale glittering in the water. What do you think the rainbow fish is starting to think as he watches how happy his friend is? The little blue fish whizzed through the ocean with his scale flashing, so it didn't take long before the rainbow fish was surrounded by the other fish. Everyone wanted a glittering scale. The rainbow fish shared his scales left and right, and the more he gave away, the more delighted he became. When the water around him was filled with glimmering scales, he at last felt home among the other fish. So Rainbow Fish started to share more of his scales with the other fish, and that made him feel really good inside. When he gave things to other people and made them feel happy, that made him feel good. Finally, the rainbow fish had only one shining scale left. His most prized possessions had been given away, yet he was very happy. "Come on, rainbow fish," they called. "Come and play with us." "Here I come," said the rainbow fish, and happy as a splash, he swam off to join his friends. The end. So friends, I think what the rainbow fish discovered in this book is even though he thought he felt really happy because he loved how good he looked with all his beautiful shining shimmering scales, he discovered that he felt even better when he shared those things with his friends and gave things to others to make them feel good too. Have a great day, friends.